Every team, every topic, everywhere. This is Believe.
What's up, hockey think tankers? Welcome to another Wednesday episode. Short Shift sponsored by Skate Tech. In case you didn't know, Skate Tech skate sharpening and equipment repair brings you NHL quality service at an affordable retail price. With over 23 years of sharpening and equipment customizing experience, Skate Tech serves as your personal equipment manager, providing the highest quality skate sharpening, blade profiling, team uniforms, and equipment alterations available on the market today. Let Skate Tech help you take your on-ice performance to the next level with the edge the pros trust. Check them out at skatetechsharpening.com.
Here we go. All right, Vechs, I got a little bit of a different episode today for you.
Okay.
And for those of you that don't know, Jeffrey Lavecchio on these short shifts typically, and we got to have you start doing some of these where I don't know the topic, but he has no idea the topic that I am going to bring up, and should he choose to hop on this magic carpet ride with me, we are going to have some fun today. So, Vechs, are you ready to go? Okay, so we just got off a podcast call with somebody. We won't say who it is because it'll be coming out in a couple weeks, but it's really interesting. So we do our 10 questions at the end of every episode, and that 10 questions is housed in our Hockey Think Tank You. And sometimes we do different questions, but a lot of times we ask similar questions to everybody that we think is really relevant for anybody that's listening, whether it's a parent, whether it's a coach, whatever it may be. And so one of the questions that we ask is, if there was one life lesson that you learned during your hockey career that you used to help you be a successful person today, what would that life lesson be? And so we've asked that question to Pat Ferschweiler. We've asked that question to the NHL players that we've had. We've asked this question to USA Hockey people that we've had on, NHL players, like everybody that comes on. And again, that's housed in Hockey Think Tank You. But I wanted to ask you that question because I don't know if we've ever actually done that with each other. Maybe we did like early on, but I don't remember.
Yeah, me neither.
You know, so like I wanted to ask you, like, if there was one life lesson that you feel like you learned on your hockey journey that helps you to be successful as a business owner, as a father, as a husband, whatever it may be outside of the game, what would that life lesson be? And we're giving you guys a little bit of a preview, a little bit of an intro, if you're not in Hockey Think Tank You yet, to the kind of cool things that we have in there. So what would that life lesson be for you?
Show up every day as its own day and win today. Whatever you need to do today, you win today. And, you know, the biggest thing that I learned was like, I can use yesterday's bad thing that happened, whether I made a mistake in a game or I had a bad practice or a bad day at school or whatever it is, I have to find a way to use that to make me better today. If I had a good day yesterday, I have to do the same thing. I can't get cocky. I can't sit back because I had a great game or a good test or a good day in business or whatever, because that doesn't translate to success for the rest of my life. So whether what happened to me yesterday was bad or what happened to me yesterday was good, it's up to me to find a way to turn that into fuel to make me better today, more intentional, more excited, more everything today. And I have to show up today and win the day. I'm not thinking about tomorrow. I'm not saving energy for tomorrow. I'm not saving anything for tomorrow. I'm trying to get everything I possibly can out of today. And if I do that intentionally, you know, energetically, detail-wise, and all of that stuff, I'm getting better today. And then I show up tomorrow and I do it again. And then I show up the day after that and I do it again. And I do it again. And I do it again. And that type of living changed my hockey career. And that type of living is how I have one of the biggest hockey training companies probably in the world, with like how many people I positively affect every single day. You know, like it's that type of living. It's knowing what my goals are, both short-term and long-term. But in the end, all that matters is I wake up today and I go and I murder my day, and I do everything I possibly can to move the needle as far as I can. I go home, I recover, I reflect, I learn, adapt, apply, and then I show up tomorrow, the exact same intentionality, the exact same energy, the exact same everything. Because what I've been able to do looking back now, living that way since I was like 17 and a half years old, is I see just a steady line going straight this way. It doesn't mean there aren't dips and all this, but you look at that line zoomed out, it's going like this day after day, month after month, year after year, because I've showed up like that every single day. And that helped me get to NHL contracts and paid to play hockey for 10 years and a Division I scholarship. When, my younger years, maybe I wasn't the best player. I wasn't the most in shape, all those things. And or on the other side of it, when I started my training company, guys, I was making, after paying out the gym and what I was charging, which was almost nothing, I was making $9 an hour while I was playing in the American Hockey League. $9 an hour. There are sessions now where I make 100 times that, more than 100 times that. So like the way that I got there is by showing up every day and giving everything I have to whatever I'm doing or whoever's in front of me or whatever that means. Right. And so like, for me, that is the number one lesson that I try to teach my guys too.
Very
How about
cool. You? Hold on. Before I get into that, I want to ask you, because that's a really hard thing to do. Like, I feel like being in the present moment is one of like the most difficult thing for us as humans to do. Like, we live so much in the past and we live so much in the future. And a lot of times that we do that, we can't get the most out of ourselves when we're living in the past or we're living too much in the future. What's the saying? It's like if you're less, usually that's a form of depression. If you're living in the future, usually that's a form of anxiety.
Yeah.
And being in the present moment is kind of the sweet spot. So like, if you had any kind of like tips or pointers or advice to people to allow them to be a little bit more in the today rather than the yesterday or tomorrow, what would that be?
Well, I would talk to anybody that's successful or had success at anything, because the way that I talk about it with my guys is I say, like, use me as an example. Look at my career. I'll go over my career with you right now from when I was in third grade all the way through 32 years old when I retired from pro. And I take them through it. And I'm like, I was terrible here. I was healthy scratched. This happened. But then I started living this way. Oh, look what happened next year. Look what happened the next year. Look what happened the next, and the progression. And I'm able to literally show them and give them evidence of, and they see me every day. So they know what I bring to the table every single minute of every single day that they are with me. Right. And so like, I use myself as an example, and I'm like, you're all better than me. You all in this room, if you're in the room with me right now, you have more skill than me. I'll tell you right now. Okay. But I was able to learn to approach things this way. And I had to learn that the hard way. I had to learn that by not being the best. I had to learn that by going through a divorce and still finding a way to show up every single day while going through such a, it's traumatic and it's hard and all these things. And going from what I've known my whole life in hockey to changing careers full time and now in the real world while going through divorce, while trying to sell a house that I just built, all these hopes and dreams, all these things. And still showing up every single day, spending all of the money in my bank account on my business to keep it going during COVID. And now look where it's at, because every day showed up the exact same way, day after day after day after day after day. And so I use myself as an example for my clients, but you could do that with any person who's achieved success at anything, and ask them to go over it. And don't ask about all the good times. Ask them about the hard times and how they got through them. And that's where the sweet spot is, because everyone goes through hard times. I don't care who you are. I do not care who. Elon Musk, richest guy in the world, been through some freaking hard times. And that's why he's at where he's at today.
Wow. Inspiring stuff, my man.
Like you, bro, like with your knee in juniors, like you going to juniors too early, what we know now reflecting. But that first year that was super hard for you, even though maybe you'd go back and change things, maybe not, because the next year you are who you are because of that hard time. And you were able to get through your knee injury because 2 years before that was super hard on you going to juniors, maybe too early. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's like, you are who you are because of all the hard things you went through.
Yeah, we all are, man. I mean, those are the things that define us at the end of the day. I do
and
like
the way that you chose to show up every day after it.
I love your answer too. We don't have to get to mine. Maybe we do that on another episode or something. But like, I did want to say one thing really quick, and that's like your answer to how do you live in the present is like go find a mentor.
Yes.
You know, like go find a mentor. And if you listen to our podcast long enough, like you know how much we're beating that drum right now and how important we think mentorship is to just growth and development and so many other positive things that can happen in your life. Like finding the right mentor to be able to guide you and just to say, you know what, a lot of times a mentor is just like, yeah, I've been through that, man. Like I've been through that and this is how I got through it, because like you said, everybody's gone through the stuff. Everybody's had some pain, and it at the end of the day, that's not what defines us. What defines us is what we do afterwards. And so, yeah, I love that. So, wow, little Jeffrey Vecchio opening up the heartstrings here today. Here we go.
Hey, live one day at a time and give your all to that day that you're in presently right now, and your life will change when you look back in 3 months, 6 months, a year, and 6 years. I guarantee you guys. Get after it.
Boom. There we go.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.